The invasion of Alexander the Great, Sikandar. Alexander the Great, known as Sikandar in India, was one of the most influential military leaders in history. His invasions from 334 BC to 323 BC changed the ancient world. His invasion of India in 326 BC was particularly significant as it had a profound political, cultural, and military impact on the subcontinent. Alexander the Great, a Macedonian king born in 356 BC, rose to power in Greece after the death of his father, King Philip II. He became famous for his military conquests across the Persian Empire, Egypt, and eventually into India. His invasion of the Indian subcontinent, particularly in 326 BC, was a key event in his career. After conquering Persia, Egypt, and parts of Central Asia, Alexander's empire extended to the east. By 327 BC, he had reached the northwestern borders of the Indian subcontinent, which included modern-day Pakistan. These regions were controlled by local rulers and the remnants of the Persian Empire. Alexander's army advanced through areas that were once part of the Persian Empire, such as Bactria, modern Afghanistan, and eventually into the Punjab region of India. Alexander's ambitions were not only to expand his territory but also to spread Greek culture and establish a legacy that connected East and West. He faced a series of challenges as he advanced toward the Indian subcontinent, both from the Persian satraps, governors, and local rulers. The most famous battle during Alexander's campaign in India occurred at the Hydaspes River, modern-day Jhelum River in Pakistan, where he fought against King Porus of the Paurva kingdom. This was one of the most significant military confrontations of his life. King Porus was a formidable opponent, leading an army that included war elephants, which were a major challenge for Alexander's army, accustomed to fighting on horseback and with phalanx infantry formations. Tactics and strategy. Despite Porus's strong position on the riverbank and the presence of war elephants, Alexander's strategic brilliance allowed him to outmaneuver the Indian forces. He used the river's crossing to his advantage, surprising Porus by attacking him from an unexpected angle, forcing the Indian king into battle on less favorable ground. Result of the battle, Alexander emerged victorious, but the battle was hard-fought. The Indian army suffered heavy losses, and King Porus was captured but treated with respect. Alexander admired Porus's bravery and reinstated him as the ruler of his territory, forging an alliance. This policy of incorporating local rulers into his empire was characteristic of Alexander's approach, often using diplomacy alongside military might. However, the battle and the harsh conditions of the campaign took a toll on Alexander's troops. After this victory, Alexander's army, exhausted and longing to return home after years of continuous warfare, refused to march further into India. This marked the end of Alexander's conquests in the Indian subcontinent, as his soldiers mutinied at the Beas River, near modern-day Amritsar, refusing to go further east. Alexander was forced to turn back, and his ambitious plan to march to the Ganges River was abandoned. Even though Alexander's direct presence in India was brief, his invasion had long-lasting consequences for the subcontinent in several key areas. Before Alexander's invasion, the Nanda dynasty, which ruled over the northern parts of India, was a dominant political force. However, the disruptions caused by Alexander's conquest and the weakening of local rulers after his invasion opened the door for Chandragupta Maurya to establish the Maurya Empire in 321 BC. The Maurya Empire, under Chandragupta and his successors like Ashoka, unified much of India, which was a significant political transformation. Although Alexander's direct influence did not last, his invasion indirectly created conditions for the rise of the Maurya Empire. Alexander's approach involved diplomacy as much as military force. He sought to build alliances with local rulers, and some, like Porus, were integrated into his empire as vassals. This helped Alexander extend his influence, though his rule was short-lived. Alexander's conquest of Persia also weakened the Persian Empire's control over the northwestern regions of India, which had been important for trade and military influence. This led to shifts in the region's political power. One of the most enduring impacts of Alexander's invasion was the spread of Greek culture and ideas into the Indian subcontinent. This era is known as the Hellenistic period, and it marked the fusion of Greek and Indian cultural elements. Greek settlers, known as Greco-Bactrians, established themselves in regions like Gandhara, modern-day Pakistan and Afghanistan, where they influenced local art, architecture, and governance. The blending of Greek and Indian cultures gave rise to a unique artistic style called Greco-Buddhist art, especially in the Gandhara region. Greek sculptural techniques influenced the depiction of Buddhist figures, such as the realistic portrayal of the Buddha's form, with draped robes and facial expressions reminiscent of Greek statues. This fusion of styles created some of the earliest images of the Buddha in human form, which had a profound impact on Buddhist art and iconography. The Greek philosophers and scholars who accompanied Alexander to the east engaged in intellectual exchanges with Indian philosophers and scholars. Although there is no clear evidence of direct influence, the meeting of Greek and Indian philosophical traditions may have facilitated the exchange of ideas. Some scholars speculate that Greek concepts of logic and reasoning influenced Indian thought, although this connection is still debated. The scientific and mathematical advancements of Greek thinkers such as Euclid and Ptolemy may have found their way into India, contributing to the development of Indian astronomy and geometry. Greek knowledge, particularly in areas like geography, also influenced later Indian scholars. Alexander's military strategies had a lasting effect on Indian warfare. His use of the phalanx, a dense formation of infantry armed with long spears, and the integration of cavalry with infantry, was studied by Indian generals and incorporated into their own military tactics. The use of war elephants, which was already a part of Indian military tradition, was a key feature in the Battle of Hydaspes. Although Alexander's army was able to defeat the elephants through strategic positioning and coordinated attacks, Indian armies later adapted by improving the use of elephants in battle. Alexander's conquests opened up new routes for trade between the East and West, linking the Mediterranean world with India and Central Asia. These routes facilitated the exchange of goods such as spices, silk, and precious metals. Greek and Persian merchants and settlers helped establish new economic networks, enriching the regions they came into contact with. The presence of Greek communities and the subsequent intermarriage between Greek settlers and local Indian populations led to a blending of cultural traditions. This cultural exchange enriched both Greek and Indian civilizations and led to advancements in art, architecture, and science. While Alexander the Great's invasion of India was short-lived, it left a profound and lasting legacy. His military campaign, though unsuccessful in its full expansion, facilitated the fusion of Greek and Indian cultures, especially in the form of Greco-Buddhist art. The Maurya Empire, which arose after Alexander's conquests, was partly a result of the political upheaval caused by his invasion. Through his interactions with Indian rulers, particularly King Porus, and his efforts to integrate local governments into his empire, Alexander laid the groundwork for further cultural, philosophical, and military exchanges between East and West. Despite his failure to continue his conquest into India, Alexander's legacy persisted in the intellectual, artistic, and cultural developments that followed, shaping the course of Indian history for centuries. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing and informative content. Stay tuned for more exciting videos.